Step away from the computer. We've had calls about a trespasser.
I'm finishing these scans.
Finishing? Who do you work for? Janitorial?
I work here. I've been here since 6.
Sure. Stand up, hands behind your back.
I can't leave this. It's a critical diagnosis.
You're done here. Move now or I add resisting.
Officer Miller had no idea what he just walked into. In the next 8 minutes, this officer would end his own career. He would start a federal civil rights probe. He would cost his department $2.3 million. The woman he was manhandling was actually Dr. Elena Aris. She was the chief radiologist. She had 15 years of experience. While Miller tightened the cuffs, he did not know something else. Dr. Aris was the only person there who could read the scans of his own police chief. She was looking at a mass on the chief's lung. Before I continue, let me ask you a question. Have you ever been treated unfairly by someone in power? Tell me your story in the comments. Miller had no idea who he was screaming at. Dr. Elena Aris was a very smart woman. She graduated from Johns Hopkins. That is one of the best schools in the world. She was board certified in 2 different areas of medicine. She had written over 50 papers on how to find cancer early. Dr. Aris was the chief of diagnostic radiology. She worked at Metropolitan Health Partners. She was an expert in interventional radiology. That means she does more than look at pictures. She performs the surgeries too. On this Tuesday morning, she was working extra. She wanted to help a friend who was on vacation. She was wearing blue scrubs and a hoodie. She did not have her white lab coat on. This made Miller think she was not a doctor. He judged her by what she was wearing and the color of her skin. To him, she looked like someone who did not belong there. But he was wrong. She belonged there more than anyone else in the building. She was the leader of her department. Everyone there respected her work. She was just trying to save a life before she had her first cup of coffee. Now here is what happened next. Officer Marcus Miller was 38 years old. He had been a police officer for 12 years. He had a bad reputation in his neighborhood. People knew him for being aggressive. He had 7 internal complaints against him in just 3 years. Every one of those complaints was about the same thing. He would make small situations much worse. He also had a history of profiling people. Once, he stopped a delivery driver for just sitting in his truck. Another time, he threatened a nurse at the hospital entrance. She was trying to help a person who was badly hurt. Miller told her she was parked illegally. He even harassed a medical student at this same hospital. He thought the student stole a stethoscope. The staff at the hospital had a nickname for him. They called him the Hammer. This was because he treated everyone like a nail. He thought he was the boss of everyone. He did not care about rules or kindness. He just wanted to show his power. He thought he could do whatever he wanted without getting in trouble. Type justice in the comments if you think officers like this should be stopped. Most people knew Miller was a problem, but his department kept him on the street anyway. They did not listen to the warnings. This time, his bad behavior was going to catch up to him. He was about to make a mistake that he could not fix. It was Tuesday, October 14. The time was 7:15 in the morning. The hospital was very quiet. The lights were low in the imaging wing. You could hear the hum of the big MRI machines. 2 medical techs were working in the back lab. One patient was inside the CT scanner tube. Dr. Aris was sitting at her desk. She was focused on the computer screen. The door to the room was open. A janitor had left it open to clean the floor. Officer Miller walked into the room. He did not ask questions. He just saw a black woman in a hoodie and scrubs. He thought she was a criminal. He told her to show him her ID. Dr. Aris pointed to her badge. It was sitting on the desk. It was just a few feet away from her. Miller did not look at it. He did not want to see it. He told her to stand down and get away from the desk. She tried to explain that she was working on a critical patient. She used the term code gold. That means the patient is in big trouble. Miller did not care. He thought she was lying to him. He moved closer to her. If stories like this matter to you, hit subscribe. We need to talk about what happens when people ignore the truth. Miller grabbed the back of the doctor's chair. I said, get up, he yelled. I cannot, I am saving this file, Dr. Aris said. She stayed calm. She did not raise her voice. You are looking at things you should not see, Miller said. I am the doctor in charge here, she replied. Miller laughed. He said a mean word about her race. He said it very quietly, but Dr. Aris heard him. You need to be professional, she said. This made Miller very angry. He did not like being told what to do. I am going to drag you out of here, he said. If I leave, the patient might die, she told him. Miller did not believe her. He thought she was just a worker who was in a place she did not belong. The 2 techs came out of the back room. They saw Miller. Being mean, they were very scared. Please stop, she is our boss, one tech said. Miller looked at them. Shut up or you are going to jail too, he yelled. He reached out and swiped the things off her desk. Her coffee spilled everywhere. Her ID badge flew across the room and landed under a table. Then Miller grabbed her arm. He pulled her out of the chair. He pushed her against the hard wall. Dr. Aris told him he was making a mistake. She warned him about the law. She told him about patient abandonment. This is a big legal problem for doctors. Miller did not listen. He pulled her hands behind her back. He put the metal cuffs on her wrists. He pulled them very tight. It hurt her a lot. He thought he was winning. He thought he was the hero. But wait until you hear who was in that scanner. The person Miller worked for was just a few feet away. The CT machine made a loud beep. The scan was over. A nurse wheeled the patient out of the room. The nurse saw the police officer. She saw Dr. Aris in handcuffs against the wall. The nurse stopped moving. Her face went white. What are you doing? The nurse screamed. I am arresting this trespasser, Miller said. He looked proud of himself. That is not a trespasser. That is Dr. Aris. She is the chief of radiology, the nurse yelled. Then the patient on the bed spoke. It was a weak voice. Chief Henderson. He was Miller's own boss. The chief looked at his officer. He saw the cuffs on his doctor. Miller, what is going on? The chief asked. Miller froze. He looked at the chief. Then he looked at Dr. Aris. He did not let her go yet. He was too stunned to move. The head of security ran into the room. He saw the mess. He saw the spilled coffee. Miller, let her go right now, the security chief said. You are on hospital property. You do not have a warrant. Dr. Aris looked at Miller. She was still calm. Officer, your body cam is on, she said. My station records everything too. It sees my eyes. It sees my hands. It knows I'm a doctor. More people started to come into the room. The CEO of the hospital arrived. A police sergeant named Davis arrived too. They all saw Miller holding the doctor. The nurse told them what happened. She said Miller would not look at the badge. She said he used a bad word. Sergeant Davis looked at the floor. He saw the badge under the table. He picked it up. It had Dr. Aris's name on it. It had her photo. It had the word chief in big letters. Miller tried to speak. She did not have it on, he lied. I thought she was a janitor. Dr. Aris looked him in the eye. You thought I was a criminal because of how I look, she said. The room went very quiet. Everyone knew she was right. Miller had messed up in the worst way possible. He had arrested the woman who was trying to save his boss's life. Let me know what you think in the comments. Should Miller have known better? The chief was watching everything. He was in pain, but he was angry. He told Sergeant Davis to handle it. By now, Miller was starting to understand how badly he had miscalculated. He was not the hero. He was the problem. The whole thing was caught on video. There were many witnesses. There was no way for Miller to lie his way out of this one. Sergeant Davis acted fast. He told Miller to let Dr. Aris go. Uncuff her now, Davis said. Miller took the cuffs off. He looked very nervous. Davis then told Miller to give him his gun. He was taking Miller off duty right then and there. The hospital legal counsel arrived next. They were there to protect the doctor and the hospital. They told Miller to leave the building. He was not allowed to be there anymore. Davis and the legal team started to look at the facts. They watched the security video. They saw the whole thing. Miller's story began to fall apart. First, he said she was trespassing, but the video showed she used her own key card. She had access to the whole building. Second, he said she refused to show her ID. The video showed her pointing at her badge. Miller was the one who swiped it off the desk. Third, he said he thought she was deleting files, but the computer logs showed she was saving life-saving data for the chief. It was all a lie. Miller had no reason to arrest her. He just wanted to be a bully. The hospital CEO was very mad. He told the police that the hospital would sue. He said the doctor's rights were violated. Dr. Aris was very shaken up. Her arm was bruised from the wall. She took 10 minutes to sit down. She drank some water. Then she did something amazing. She went back to work. She finished the report for Chief Henderson. She found the cancer mass. She found it early enough to treat it. She saved the man who employed the officer who attacked her. If stories like this matter to you, hit that subscribe button. We need to keep talking about these moments of justice. Miller tried to talk to Sergeant Davis outside. He tried to act like they were friends. She was being difficult, Sarge, Miller said. Davis D. Not look at him. You are done, Miller, Davis said. Miller was sent home. He was suspended without pay. The hospital staff felt a sense of relief, but they were also very sad. They could not believe this happened in their own building. The consequences were just beginning. Someone had been recording on a phone the whole time. The world was about to see what Officer Miller had done. The video hit the internet fast. A tech assistant had recorded it on her phone. By 10 that morning, it was on TikTok. By 1 in the afternoon, it had 2 million views. People used a tag called Justice for Dr. Aris. It was the #1 thing people were talking about. By 4 in the afternoon, news trucks were at the hospital. By midnight, 15 million people had seen it. They saw Miller push the doctor. They heard the mean things he said. People were very angry. They asked why a doctor was not safe at work. The nickname the Hammer went viral too, but now it was a joke. People called him the Fired Hammer. Media outlets like CNN and MSNBC picked up the story. They talked about how black professionals are often treated like criminals. The hospital gave a statement. They said they stood behind Dr. Aris. They said they would not tolerate bias. Miller tried to fix his image. He deleted his social media, but it was too late. People found his wife's business and left bad reviews. Miller even tried to sue the hospital. He said they made him feel bad. That move backfired. Everyone laughed at his claim. This story was shared millions of times. Share it if you think others should see this. Comment below if you think the internet was right to get involved. The pressure on the police department was huge. They had to do something. They could not hide Miller's actions anymore. The video made sure of that. Dr. Aris did not wait around. She filed a federal civil rights lawsuit. This is called a Section 1983 case. The hospital joined her in the suit. They wanted to send a message. During the case, the lawyers found Miller's old records. They found out he had a long history of bad behavior. The department had protected him for years, but they could not protect him now. There was too much proof. The evidence was clear as day. In the end, the department chose to settle the case. They did not want to go to a trial. They knew they would lose. They paid Dr. Aris $1.8 million. They also had to pay $500,000 for her lawyers. That is a total of $2.3 million. Dr. Aris was very kind. She did not keep the money for herself. She donated it to cancer research at the hospital. She wanted the money to help people. Miller lost his job. He was fired for conduct unbecoming of an officer. That means he acted in a way that was shameful. He was also charged with official misconduct. He was charged with simple assault for pushing the doctor. He was banned from every hospital in that network for life. He can never go back there. Dr. Aris made a statement. She said it was not about the money. She said it was about the interruption of care. She said no one should be stopped from doing their job. Miller's life changed forever. He could no longer be a police officer. No other department would hire him. He became a cautionary tale. He was the officer who arrested his boss's doctor. The settlement was a huge victory, but the story did not end with money. The hospital changed its rules. They made sure this would never happen again. They created a new policy to protect doctors. Wait until you hear what Dr. Aris said at the end. It was very powerful. Dr. Aris stood in front of the hospital. She was at a press conference. She looked strong and proud. She spoke about the day it happened. She said it was a trauma for her. She said the hospital should be a sanctuary. That means a place of peace and healing. She said she spent 12 years in school. She worked hard to save lives. But a man with only 6 months of training stopped her. He stopped her because of his bias. She told the crowd that dignity is not negotiable. It does not matter what your job title is. Everyone deserves respect. She asked for better training for all police officers. She wanted them to learn about implicit bias. That is the bias people have without knowing it. She said she did not hate Miller. She just wanted the system to change. She wanted to make sure the next doctor could work in peace. We are here to heal, she said. If the law stops us from doing that, the law is the disease. Those words were printed in newspapers everywhere. People cheered for her. She thanked the witnesses who spoke up. She thanked her employer for standing by her. She ended her speech with a call for peace. Her words moved a lot of people. They showed that she was a woman of great character. She turned a bad moment into a chance for growth. This case shows a bigger problem in our country. Data shows that black workers are often questioned more than others. This happens even when they are the boss. This case was different because of the irony. The doctor was saving the chief's life. The hospital now has a Blue Shield protocol. Police cannot enter certain areas without a warrant. This case is now used to teach new laws. It helps protect medical care from interference. We have to look at how power is used in our society. Respect should be the baseline for everyone. So let me ask you, should an officer's hunch ever be more important than a doctor's duty? How many professionals are treated like criminals every single day? Is a settlement of $2 million enough to change the culture of a police department? Because if we do not fix the training, then we are just waiting for the next Miller, the next victim, the next bad consequence. We cannot let bias stay in our systems. We have to demand better from the people who protect us. Comment below if you believe Miller should have gone to jail. If you think stories like this matter, hit that subscribe button. We are going to keep exposing these stories. We are going to keep demanding better. We are going to keep fighting for respect in the workplace. We are going to fight for true justice for every worker. This isn't just about one officer or one radiologist. It's about all of us and the world we want to live in. We should all be able to do our jobs without fear. Thank you for watching and supporting this channel. Your voice matters in this conversation. See you in the next one.